In my life, a shocking true story of betrayal and survival. So imagine you're a restaurant owner just trying to make it in a rough part of town. Sometimes you toss food to the local homeless people to keep the peace, help out, and avoid trouble. But one day, a seemingly harmless favor turns into a nightmare that ruins your life in ways you'd never imagine. For 5 years, I ran this restaurant in a well-known shady area. To keep things smooth with the street folks around, I'd let them hang by the shop as long as they didn't cause any problems. One day, one of these regulars, a local homeless guy, asks if he can leave his luggage behind the restaurant. Seemed harmless, right? Just some bags while he did whatever he needed to do that day. But that decision set off a chain of events that would destroy everything I'd built. Hours later, I'm in full prep mode for the dinner rush when, out of nowhere, city detectives walk into the restaurant. They say they're looking for stolen goods and are tracking a man who was last seen entering my place. Now I'm trying to play it cool, not wanting to snitch or cause trouble with the street crowd. So I give a vague answer, but my nerves are spiking. Curiosity got the best of me. I go outside, open the guy's bags, and boom, my heart skips a beat. Inside, 5 rifles, 2 shotguns, and 5,000 rounds of ammo. My mind is racing, trying to figure out how to handle this without getting dragged into a nightmare I didn't sign up for. But before I could decide, the detectives come back, this time with a search warrant. They find the guns, haul me in, and start grilling me like I'm the ringleader of a criminal operation. They try every trick, twist every word, to make me confess to some made-up story of a deal with this guy. For 12 hours I sat in that cell saying nothing, terrified about how they'd try to paint me as guilty. Finally, they let me go, but they take my phone, wallet, and keys and tell me to walk home. It's 4 a.m., and I've got 1.5 miles ahead of me with nothing. I was totally drained, worrying what they might try to pull next, but I had no idea the worst was yet to come. That night, after finally managing to sleep a few hours, I go back to work, trying to keep things as normal as I can. But when I lock up that night, I hear footsteps behind me. I turn around, and it's him, the guy with the bags. He's with a few of his buddies, and he's furious. He accuses me of stealing his guns. I tell him the cops took them, but he doesn't believe me. Before I know it, they pull a machete and drag me to my own car, shoving me in the trunk. They start driving, talking about finishing me off out in the countryside. My blood runs cold. I'm totally trapped. We're on the road, and I'm frantically trying to wiggle free, thinking of the chef's knife I keep behind the driver's seat. Then suddenly, I see red and blue lights in the rear view. One of the guys following us had been driving recklessly and got pulled over. The guys in the car with me start freaking out, convinced there's a hidden wire or something. One of them panics, bails from the car, and runs into the bushes. Now it's just me and the driver. He's shaking, sweating, and has no idea what to do, so I play it cool, offer him a way out. Let me go and take the car. You can be out of state by morning. He actually considers it, untying my legs after some pacing around. I hand him $50 and he finally takes off. I called the cops, but they barely cared, treating it like a failed drug deal gone wrong. A few months later, I'm dragged to court where the prosecutor tries to paint me as some underworld kingpin, using those guys as muscle. It was surreal. After hours of defending myself, they found me guilty of having the stolen firearms on site, but decided it was circumstantial. I got slapped with 80 hours of community service. My restaurant's name was dragged through the mud. 3 years later, the media comes out with another hit piece on me, using my social media photos, twisting the narrative, and painting me as a violent gang member. I lost my business license, my reputation, and pretty much everything I had. Now I'm living like a ghost, banned from venues, shunned by my industry, all because I let one guy store his luggage behind my restaurant. It was like a nightmare that I could never wake up from. I thought I was just doing a favor, keeping the peace. But sometimes the smallest choices turn out to be the ones that destroy you. It's crazy how one small decision, one small act of kindness, turned my whole life upside down. It's a warning, I guess. Sometimes doing the right thing isn't worth the price. And if you're ever in a shady part of town, keep your kindness in check, because it just might ruin you.